everybody, welcome to Pursue Your Passion. My name is Michaela Page.
I'm Andres.
Lauren.
And I'm Chris.
And we're from Pursue Your Passions, Live to Dream Photography, and CrazyBabyTV.com. Today we're here with Howard Davis Jr. Thank you for coming to
My pleasure.
Be with us today. You're actually really interesting when we looked you up. There's so many achievements that you've gone about throughout your whole entire career, and it's inspiring just to have you here, seeing all that you've been through your whole career to fight to where you are today.
Thank you very much. It's pretty easy. My mother and father are basically disciplinarians. Not in a harsh way, but
Yeah.
I was made the sort of the leader of the family, and my father always saying to me that you do anything wrong, the rest of your brothers and sisters are going to follow. So I had to do everything right. I remember when I started to become a teenager and I wanted to go out, my father said, I want you home at 11 o'clock. I would actually come home 10 minutes to 11 just to make sure my brothers and sisters saw that, so they would follow suit. So I tried to stay on they call the thin line, you know, so it was pretty easy growing up.
It was.
Yeah.
Has any of your brothers and sisters followed in your career path?
Well, actually, one of my brothers did. He boxed for a little while. He won the New York Golden Gloves. We're born and raised in New York.
Yeah.
And then he pursued a professional career, and he had 5 professional fights. And one of his fights, he fought on my show when I fought. I was the main event, and he was the co-main event of the show. And I was actually watching him from the dressing room, and I can see that he didn't really want to do this. He was struggling with a guy that he should easily beat. So after he fought, I asked him, why is he doing this? And he didn't have a real reason why he was boxing. I think he was doing it because he thought, because I was doing it, he should do it. So I told him to quit because it's one of those kind of sports that you can't play. You can play basketball, you can play hockey, but you can't play boxing. And I told him that this is one sport you can't play. It's a good chance you can get hurt, so if you're not really serious about what you're doing, I think you should retire. So he retired and became a police officer, and he just retired like 2 years ago.
So that was his passion?
Yeah.
To be police.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Now, Howard, what got you into boxing?
My father used to run a gymnasium back in New York, Glen Cove, New York, and I used to see a lot of fighters in the gym, but I never really wanted to pursue it until one day he asked me to go to movies. And for some strange reason, I didn't ask him what movie we were going to see. And for some reason, he didn't tell me. But I was just glad to be with my father, and so we went to the movies. But the movie was a documentary about Muhammad Ali. I don't know if anybody knows who Muhammad Ali is.
Yeah.
He calls himself the greatest. So, and at the time the movie came out, Muhammad Ali wasn't fighting. He was in exile. The United States government put him in exile, say he couldn't fight because he didn't enter the war at the time, which war was the Vietnam War. So he was in exile, and this movie came out. And I just got super inspired, my passion. And the next morning after viewing the movie, I got up like 5:30 in the morning, and I ran 3 miles, which I never ran 3 miles before. And where I lived at, the neighborhood I lived at, was a lot of hills. So I ran up and down the hills of Glen Cove, Long Island. And for 5 years, I pursued my dream of the Olympics.